as you're born that make you feel small, by giving you no time instead of it all, till the pain is so big you feel nothing at all. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. They hurt you at home, they hit you at school. They hate you if you're clever and they despise a fool. Till you're so fucking crazy you can't follow the rules. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. When they've tortured and scared you for 20-odd years, well then they expect you to pick a career. When you can't really function, you're so full of fear. Say the working class hero is something to be. Yes, a working class hero is something to be. Thank you very much, folks.
My politics in 2016. I am a classical liberal. The government should restrain itself from violating our liberties. The war on drugs and foreign military involvement are unjust. We shall soon ascend from this foul binary system in no peace. My politics now. They have taken the bridge and the second hall. We have barred the gates, but cannot hold them for long. The ground shakes. Drums, drums in the deep. We cannot get out. A shadow moves in the dark. We cannot get out. They are coming.
Good morning, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Live from the Hive. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and it is October 19th, and it is 9:40 a.m. right now, and I am roasting here. Actually, I just turned my fan off because I started to cool off, but I'm kind of roasting now, so I'm going to reach over here and turn my fan back on and open my door. I actually did have such a cute outfit planned for this morning. I was going to do my whole fall look. I pulled off the hoodie, even though it's a little hot in here for my hoodie even, but I could not pull off my stocking cap. I wore it while I was getting ready today just to see if I would be able to handle it. Too hot. It is too hot on October 19th, 2024 to wear a beanie. Who would have known? When I went back to my childhood, who would have known? Because it was always nice and cool by this time of year. We had already had some good frost, and everything was ready to flip over to winter clothes. But now we just kind of have this transition period where we go back and forth, and I don't know what to wear or what to pack away for the season. Go figure. Good morning, everybody. We have like a lively crowd this morning. Almost 20 of you all in here so far. Good morning, Captive Desk, James Nordoff, Robert Madewell, Pragmatic Crystal, Deep Arcs, Al Trucker, Sumami, Greg Hartwick, John Fabiano, Native Atheist. Anybody else? Stephanie Helms, Ember, hello. Daily Atheist, good morning, Chris. And D, yeah, I said D. Okay, yeah, well, good morning, everybody. To all the people chatting, all the people lurking, and everybody in between. Just glad to see you and happy that you're here this morning. Another week has passed, it seems. Another week closer to my big move. I am moving to El Paso next month. It's going to be exciting. So you'll see a change in the background scenery behind me slowly. I mean, except for the recorded content, which will still have this background. But yeah. Anyway, but hopefully that all goes pretty smoothly, and I'm able to get down there and get all things set up, and we're ready to go as soon as possible. But we will see what the future holds, and I will keep you updated. The big move coming soon. Another big move is I'm switching out my monitors, because these ones actually belong to my former employer. I need to send those back, but I've got my own monitors, so it doesn't matter. But lots of stuff, lots of checklist stuff to get taken care of. So that is how things are going here in the Hive. I had a great episode of Transpositions this week too, where we covered a bug topic. So if you're here for the bugs and you don't watch Transpositions, if there's anything that goes trans and bugs related, Bree's all over it. So this week on the Transpositions, I covered the LGB Alliance getting cricket bombed by some youth activist. So check that out if you missed it. I don't know if somebody can drop a link for me maybe to that stream, but it was a good time. I covered that. We had some politicians that are actually trans, not just trans affirming politicians, but actual trans politicians from like Ohio, from Hawaii and stuff. It's been really exciting to see how things are moving forward. But it is an election season, so I need you all to do me a favor and just get out there and vote. Just vote like it's the last election, or maybe the last election you ever vote in. Just vote and vote and vote. Every single one of y'all. I need, if you legally can, I need you to vote in the U.S. Spooky, I need you to create a fake U.S. identity and buy a social security number and come over and vote too. And we're not. I can't just have you. You're dead weight at this point unless you're getting over here and voting. So all the people in the UK, I just need you to just come over and vote. Just pop on over. Yes. Yeah, but there's that cricket story was great. So if you missed that, go check it out. That is how you do activism. But yeah, I don't have too much else to say in the preamble today. Just to say that thank you so much for returning every week. You 20 people or so that are always in here in the morning to listen to me spin nonsense about monsters. Speaking of monsters, we have the OG cryptid per request from our Tsunami today. So, as we move on over, we are going to be looking at La Bête du Gévaudan. Dead flattering, yes, spooky. I will see you guys in Cryptic Corner. I'm ready to get this show rolling. Let's go. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome back to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the paranormal, the supernatural, and hidden, the accursed, the alien, and the forbidden. I am your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today we got something special for you. Spooky season, I have to do it, and also one of my good friends, again, Miss Tsunami out there in the chat, had requested this a couple weeks back, so I did plan on incorporating this in spooky season. I just wasn't sure where it was going to be shoehorned in, but I decided this week would be great. This would be a perfect time to talk about the godfather of cryptids. Now, there's a lot of beings or entities that might try to claim that title. One that comes up a lot is Enkidu from the Epic of Gilgamesh. Problem with Enkidu is that he's presented as a mythological figure, so it's hard to call him a cryptid. The first cryptid that we know that there was actually a physical animal behind it, but we don't know what the animal was. That's what we're dealing with today. A beast. And this story, I guess, it starts in 18th century France. We are going to explore the legend of the Beast of Gévaudan, or pronounced in the French, it's La Bête du Gévaudan. Yeah, I practiced my French for this one. That's part of the reason I put off doing this or covering this topic for so long, is because when I tried to do my science video on Lamarck, I tripped over every single French pronunciation that I came across. So today I've done some practice, but for the most part, I'm gonna let this guy talk anyway. So we are looking at, this is the Legends of History. It's a pretty big YouTube channel, almost hit 100, or 1 million. Yeah, so that's pretty amazing. Congratulations to you. I like their art style here. That's why I picked this one to be the one that's presenting the case. So let's see. Let's unravel the mystery. Oh, yeah. Let me show you real quick before we get too far into this. I've got so many maps. Oh, not that. Yeah, here we go. I've got so many maps. Look at these maps. I got maps and maps. And then, obviously, I'm going to have this map, and we're going to be going down into here, where these are points of significance. Some of these are memorials, and some of them are attack sites. But we'll be digging into all of it, so we're going to unravel this. We are going to untangle this yarn. Yes, this is the one from Brotherhood of the Wolf. Oh my gosh, Captive Desk, thank you so much for gifting some memberships. Jenna got a membership. So did your mom. That's nice, your mom. Alias Fake Name. Atheist Jr. Fresh out of the asylum got a membership. And yeah, thank you so much, Captive Desk. You rock. You are a rock star. All right. Hold on. Let me fix the volume up here. Take me just a second. I got that working class hero stuck in my head now. All right, here we go. Let's try this.
It would all take place in the seemingly peaceful region of Gévaudan, located in southern France. A mountainous, secluded and mysterious place that would make for the perfect setting for a grim fairy tale. Historian...
Kind of these woods, yeah, he gets 16 seconds and I'm like, wow, to the maps. No, these woods, it's mostly the stretch of woods right here. They are really a fairy tale wood. I mean, if you look at this is the kind of wood that that Hansel and Gretel warned you about. Watch this. Look. This is the forest in southeastern France, right? And it's hilly and wooded, and this is where the legends of the werewolf comes from. This region here, and wolves used to thrive in this environment. As you can see, it's a perfect environment for wolves. Lots of timber cover for organized hunting.
And author J.M. Smith describes the region of Gévaudan.
I think that's the fastest I ever got into a video where I pulled up a map and was like, wait, let me punctuate what they're saying here. But
historian and author J.M. Smith describes the region of Gévaudan as having enchanted forests, where the forces of nature are truly untamed. From 1764 to 1767, records note that over 100 people were slain by a vicious creature, a giant rabid wolf, as the tales would have it, who would earn the name the Beast of Gévaudan. The first recorded sighting...
See, back when I first got into the cryptozoological community, they just called it Le Bête. Le Bête du Gévaudan, but Le Bête was what they called it. And people always say the Beast of Gévaudan now, but I think putting the Beast of title on anything gets redundant. That's why I call the Beast of Bray Road Eddie, because, you know, he had a name. Someone named him. So, and Le Bête, it just means the Beast. Ironically, the Beast in France, where Beauty and the Beast takes place. Not saying that's the story here, but...
involves a young woman who was tending to her cattle. The beast made itself known, inching its way towards her as she stood petrified by its sheer size. Luckily for her though, the cattle in which she was tending to, which some say were grown bulls, drove the beast away, allowing for the young woman to escape unharmed. This would not be the case for the beast's first victim though, a young 14-year-old girl named
Okay, so the first attack, no death, so we are looking at... Do I have a bigger version? Nope. I thought I had a bigger version of this map. Of this one. Well, let me zoom in on it a little bit, maybe. There we go. Okay, so first attacks are taking place up here in the valley by Marat. So, if we go back out and look... I'm going to say this is... where is St. Flower? Okay, so St. Flower and Marat's up here. So you can see St. Flower on this map, though. It's right there. And the early attacks take place more in the north. So for right now, we are really focused up in the area north of this forest. This is the forest of Gévaudan. This big forest that runs. It used to be a lot bigger too, as you can tell. It's been kind of stripped back, but it runs all the way down this valley. But this is where things start, right? This is where everything begins. Our story begins in people tending their herds up in this region, up around here, and a wolf prowling in the darkness. Captive Dusk, send in another $10. Oh my gosh, Dave. Thank you. You don't have to be so generous. Oh my gosh, much love.
Jane Boulay. Unlike the woman before her, Jane Boulay did not have a pack of bulls at her disposal, but instead,
Thank you.
a pack of sheep.
I need all the help I can
The
get.
beast, which was described as a giant wolf, brutally killed her, much as it did to its other victims, where their throats were torn, their heads gnawed, or completely consumed. The horrific nature of these kills was so shocking that the tale of the beast of Gévaudan echoed throughout France, and even found its way to the ears of King Louis XV. The mid-18th century was not France's finest hour. They had suffered
Yeah, France is already in bad shape here, but I just wanted to pinpoint some stuff about large animals that attack. So, when they attack humans, generally you're looking at something that's been, it may have suffered an injury, or it may be just elderly, it may, or maybe young and inexperienced. Those are the situations usually where a large predator attacks a human. Because for the most part, large predators learn to avoid humans. We don't look appetizing to animals. We're for the most part, we're skinny and hairless and bony, which makes us look sickly to wildlife. So like, nah. But desperate times call for desperate measures when, you know, you break your tooth and you can't tackle a water buffalo anymore. Those skinny little monkey things, the skinny little bald monkey guys that can barely lift their own body weight start to look pretty damn yummy.
many defeats during the 7 Years' War at the hands of the British, and had ceded many lands overseas. The economy was in the toilet, so to speak, and the political climate of the nation
Pathogenic, of course, James. Absolutely.
was not a favourable one. Perhaps the Beast of Gévaudan was the last thing that King Louis needed. Or maybe it would serve as a much needed distraction, an entity for which he could focus his frustration on, and an entity which could unite France in a time when morale was at a low. King Louis would eventually commission the services.
Is it an entity or an animal? Now, there was a lot of speculation since this event over the centuries about what the identity of this creature is. It's never been thoroughly identified. And we'll look at some of the different theories and stuff. We'll dig into it.
Of 2 wolf hunters, before sending his own personal guard to hunt the beast. But first, Captain Jean-Baptiste Dumel, a leader of the local infantry, took it upon himself to organize the first attack against the wolf. It's possible that Captain Dumel wasn't in this endeavor to serve the people, but more so to redeem his own honor for his shortcomings during the war. Therefore, he set about the strict organization
And just to clarify, because I keep putting this image up on the board here, this isn't really what the beast was alleged to look like in any of the reports. It was never black, it didn't have glowing blue eyes, nor did it have crocodile mouth. The rest of the stuff's alright, I guess.
of his men throughout the region of Gévaudan, through the mountains and the forests, and even went as far as to use poisoned bait to weaken or perhaps even kill the beast, without resulting in combat.
So imagine how many real, just like living off the land, doing wolf stuff, wolves that this motherfucker got killed. I mean, if you think about it, he's acting like a fool, killing villagers and such, and getting the hunters all riled up to start killing wolves. And like, you can look, they killed hundreds of wolves because of you can look at the records. They killed hundreds of wolves trying to catch this this monster. Oh my gosh, Regios, you are the bomb.com. Yo, 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 JG, Left-Handed Jedi, Sydney Raptor, Captain Crockpot, Apocalypse Meow, Apostle Sister, Apostate Sisters, Carlton Winston, Inquisitor Bacon, Jenny Morgan, and Tina Jones, Ember, Rick, Thylonka Leon Kennedy, Ian Chen Official, Patty Troy. Thank you so much. There's more even. Hecklek, Neo Way, Ryan Coltastic, Scott Duke, Paul Schlatter. I think that's it. But we had another $10 super chat too. What are you guys doing? Thank you so much. Can everyone pitch in a few dollars to help Bree move? Thank you so much, D. Yeah, I was planning to do a fundraiser maybe this week or something. I talked to Maya about doing something maybe with seeing how ChatGPT responds to paranormal claims and what it tells you, like if you start reporting ghostly activity to it, what it'll say and how it'll respond. So if you're interested in that, maybe I'm planning on doing something like that. I don't know, but yes, thank you so much for helping with the move. Every penny that I can get right now is tied up in moving and making sure that I get all the stuff here that taken care of before I go. So really appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. Yeah, use your emojis. You have them now. I want to see some pride butterflies. I want to see some mantises. Maybe some flat earths. Yeah, some angry demonic snails. Let's see them. Let's see it. If you received a membership just now from either one of our memberships gifting, I want to see you using it. I want to see some cute emojis come up. Come on, let's show me some Mothmans. I love Mothman. You guys know that.
Sources claim that he even had some of his own soldiers dress up as women, in the hopes that the beast would consider it easy prey, and therefore reveal itself.
Yes, the Bigfoot feet! Yeah, you can make a whole trail of Bigfoot feet. Yes. Woo! Now, having your soldiers dress up like women is, I think they did show that part in the Brotherhood of the Wolf. The Brotherhood of the Wolf is an action movie, that's set to the backdrop of this phenomena, right? It's got the characters and stuff that come in, but they're doing kung fu and whatnot. It's a kung fu movie, or I don't know if it's the fighting style they're doing is kung fu or some other fighting style, but that's the pinnacle of the movie, watching the fight scenes. But if you're into choreography, they're amazing. I love choreography. That's the funny thing about it. People are like, how can you be anti-violent and you like so many violent movies? It's like, I love choreography. Those are freaking dances those people are doing. They're making it look like they're hurting each other by dancing. It's amazing. They're making it look like they're actually having a violent confrontation by dancing. I love it. But I digress. The beast does appear in the movie, but I'm not real thrilled with the depiction of the beast necessarily.
Some have said that a reward was established that would equal a working man's salary if they were successful in slaying the beast. Captain Demal may have had the military know-how and the resources for which to trap and kill the beast, but he did not have much engagement.
I tell you what, Octopus with No Friends, the Lich King is the only time I remember being scared of a cartoon character as an adult. When he gets thin and wrapped up in that darkness, and he's feeling cold and alone and desperate. Oh my God. The feels. You could feel that scene.
With the beast. In fact, women and children are said to have had much more success in fending off the wolf. An example of this is a young boy named Jacques Portefeuille, who was playing with a group of friends in a meadow in January 1765. The beast snuck up on them, but under the quick wit of Jacques, they formed a circle and held out pikes to ward the wolf away. King Louis XV soon learned of this particular story and was said to reward all of the children for their bravery. He was said to have Jacques privately educated at his own personal expense.
Now, that's a good idea, though, to stand. That's like what buffalo do. Stand back to back with the horns facing out, and yeah, these kids did the buffalo tactic, and it seems to have worked against the beast.
Another tale speaks of Marie-Jeanne Vallée, who was attacked that same year in August, but she was able to fend the beast off single-handedly. It would earn her the title the Maiden of Gévaudan, where a statue would later be erected in her honor. By this point, the beast was...
We will look at that badass statue too, don't you worry. Her statue's the best of the statues. There's a whole bunch of them though. You saw my map, like more than half of those are statues.
Gévaudan had become something of a sensation.
On memorials.
Reports about the beast being a savage monster soon echoed throughout France, and were further fueled by eyewitness accounts. One from Captain de Maulle himself, who stated that the beast had a chest as wide as a horse, and its body was as long as a leopard's. He also noted that the beast had red fur with a black stripe, and that he believed the monster was a hybrid.
Ooh, with black stripe. That's interesting. Black stripe.
Of which its father was a lion, and its mother was something unknown, but equally fearsome. Other accounts would speak of the beast having supernatural powers, which were in turn soaked up by the local press. Some have said that it could walk on its hind legs and tower over its prey as tall as a small tree. Others said that it could repel bullets with its tough flesh, and that it had fire in its eyes that was devastating to look upon. Another account says that the beast was actually killed, but that it returned to life moments later. It was also said...
It's a lich beast. There you go. It's like that. It's like the snail. The lich brings it back to life. Goes full circle.
To demonstrate an astonishing ability to leap across large distances. In February 1765, the king commissioned 2 professional wolf hunters, a man named Jean-Charles Marc-Antoine Deneville and his son, Jean-François. They would meet with Captain de Maulle, but their strategies to capture the wolf were extremely different. As noted earlier, de Maulle organized hunting parties and had his men positioned throughout the forest, prepared to take down the beast through any means necessary. But the Denevilles believed that the beast could only be stumbled upon through means of stealth, and that de Maulle was only hindering the process with his men positioned everywhere. Eventually, de Maulle was ordered...
I mean, I can see the benefit of both tactics depending on how the creature's behavior is, right? A rogue that's out killing humans and then wants to kill humans and is hunting them down. It might not be a bad idea to have stations in the forest with armed hunters waiting for the beast, as opposed to sneaking up on it. These tactics don't have to work independently, but I do see how having the parties of people stationed about might keep the beast from wanting to come into that area.
To stand down. The Denevilles would incorporate bloodhounds into their hunt over the next 4 months, but were only successful in killing regular wolves. The attacks and sightings of the beast of Gévaudan continued, and it became clear that the professional wolf hunters were having as much luck as Captain de Maulle was. Therefore, they were dismissed from their task and were swiftly replaced by the king's own bodyguard, Francois Antoine, in June 1765. By September that same year, Antoine succeeded in killing a giant wolf.
Now he's I believe Francois Antoine is the character from the movie Brotherhood of the Wolf. I think that's the character that's in that movie, and yeah, he did kill a wolf, and he had it taxidermied too.
Who measured 80 centimeters in height and weighed 130 pounds. Antoine concluded,
which is a massive wolf in Europe. An absolutely massive wolf in Europe. A wolf that weighs over 100 pounds, or 45 kilograms or whatever, is 60 kilograms, is absolutely massive. They're a huge animal.
That this had to have been the beast that had caused such terror, given that it was later identified by the victims who had defended themselves by the scars on its body.
Morning, Joe.
Antoine of course lapped up the gratitude presented to him by the people of Gévaudan and relished in his moment of fame. He would, however, remain hunting in the woods a while after.
Like a lot of the depictions of the beast also depicts it as biped. I don't think it was biped ever, like in any other reports that it had hands or anything.
For he had claimed to have seen the female partner of the beast, as well as 2 grown cubs. Proving to be better at wolf hunting than one might think, Antoine was able to kill the female wolf and a cub, which was already larger than its mother. Antoine claimed he had shot the final remaining cub, but that it had managed to escape, though he believed it could not have lived for much longer, given its wound. Antoine returned to Paris, where he received a large sum of money.
I don't know how to convert to stone, Spooky. You'll have to ask Google. But the other wolves. So far he's killed one, right? And then they all celebrated. Ooh, yeah, you killed it. Then he went and killed the other alpha female in the pack, and they're grown pups. So he just eradicated out this pack of wolves. Now, if the pack of wolves was attacking people, now there have been packs of wolves that do attack people. That does happen. You betta. Now, the implications here is that they caused a small extinction event in this valley in southern France of the apex predator. Sure hope it doesn't have any repercussions.
Awards and several titles for his bravery and strength. It seemed like all was well again in the isolated and furtive region of Gévaudan, until the beast struck again in December, just 3 months after Antoine had left, and was able to attack a 6-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy. It would appear that the beast was back, with a vengeance, furthermore lending to the tale that the beast could be slain, but it would return from the dead moments after.
But didn't he say he shot one of the pack and it didn't die?
It also tried to capture a 6-year-old boy, but was fought off by civilians. It would attack again throughout the remainder of the year, and while it had once been dissuaded from attacking those who were surrounded by cattle, such as bulls, it no longer held such inhibitions. It was brazen now, slaying any animal that stood in its way between it and its human prey. The attacks would go on into 1766.
Now, this is where people start to speculate that maybe there was actually a serial killer on the loose at this time in this area of France that was using the beast narrative to be able to just get away with committing some grisly-ass crimes.
Where 35 fatalities were reported at the hands of the beast. The community appealed to the king to send Antoine once again to rid them of the menace, but the king denied them, believing that Antoine had already slain it, and therefore it could not have possibly still been alive. In essence, he didn't believe them, and turned a blind eye to their pleas for help. It seemed like assistance
Typical
wasn't
king,
coming,
right?
and therefore, the locals took matters into their own hands. A local farmer named Jean Chastel had been involved in a previous hunt alongside Antoine, but because he had accidentally led Antoine and his men into a bog, he was thrown in jail. He was released from captivity, given that the town believed they needed all the help they could get in defeating the beast of Gévaudan.
Now, Chastel is, this is where silver bullets come from in folklore, in werewolf folklore.
On, once and for all. Whether or not the following is true or not has not been confirmed, but some believe Jean Chastel is responsible for the idea that wolves or werewolves in modern culture are susceptible to silver, or silver bullets in this case.
Oh,
Jean Chastel was indeed successful in slaying the beast of Gévaudan, with a single bullet no less, on June 19th, 1767. Rumours suggest that Chastel had actually coated his bullets in silver, or somehow was able to fashion a bullet out of silver that would be compatible with his firearm. Given that bullets hadn't worked on the beast before, it's interesting that one single bullet fired from Chastel's gun.
So, right, the silver bullets are a cute idea. They're not heavy enough to actually work effectively, though, at least not on any kind of range. You have to be basically point blank to get any kind of penetration with a silver bullet. Just because of the weight of silver, it'll... I suppose the term is tumbling. I'm not a big gun person, but it causes the bullet to tumble, which makes it go off in erratic directions. If you make them out of silver. Now, coated in silver, I hadn't heard that before. I wonder how he would have pulled that off without... I guess he could have electroplated it. Did they electroplate bullets in France in 1767? I don't know. Probably not. I don't think electroplating had quite been invented yet. You would have had to smelt it onto there or something. Hello, alias fake name. Good to have you with us. We are talking about the Beast of Gévaudan. Le Bête du Gévaudan.
It's all it took to defeat the beast.
I just like saying that, by the way, if you all can't tell. Le Bête Gévaudan. Le Bête du Gévaudan. I almost forgot the of.
Beast, and for good this time. However, many argue that this idea is simply far-fetched, given that a farmer wouldn't necessarily have the know-how nor the means to fashion a bullet, let alone be in the possession of silver in the first place. Even if this was the case, Chastel's determining of silver being effective against wolves appears to be unfounded, as he never explained his reasoning as to how he came up with the idea in the first place. The end of the Beast of Gévaudan.
If I remember correctly, and I've read like a ton on this case, that he also had it blessed, the bullet blessed and everything. There was a whole ritual he said he did before taking the shot. Then like he had laid the cross down when he took aim and everything like that. It's he said he did a whole ritual. But he was a hustler, probably. They usually are.
Don does little to answer many of the burning questions we still have today, though. I mean, a beast that could seemingly bring itself back to life is quite clearly a terrifying concept to ponder on. But many believe that the beast was not bringing itself back to life, and that simply, Gévaudan had an infestation of large wolves, and so when one was killed, another simply took its place. This would also coincide with how quickly the beast was able to strike, because there was more than one large wolf out there, preying on victims. Historians also believe that there were as many as 9,000 wolf-related fatalities across the country between the 17th and 19th century. But what is it that makes Gévaudan stand out so much? Well, that's likely to do with the creative press at the time, who were able to turn the violent nature of wolf attacks into one physical embodiment, a giant beast that lurked in the forest.
Now, France was kind of famous during this period of time. There's like I guess you would say during the Little Ice Age, really, France had a wolf problem, or the wolves of France had a people problem, whichever side you want to take on that matter. But do we need to explain what the Little Ice Age is? A solar minimum period that followed the medieval warm period. Okay, so we had the medieval warm period, and then you had as we moved into basically from the start of the Renaissance up past the Enlightenment was the Little Ice Age. The Little Ice Age is peaked in 1817 with the Year Without a Summer, and that was the eruption of... Year Without a Summer was the eruption of... It wasn't Toba. It was... Oh my god, this is going to drive me crazy. Hold on. I know this. I have it on my map, too. Is this it? No, that's that. You know what? This is off topic. I need to go back to the video. I'm going to be easily distracted. But yeah, it was the Little Ice Age was a period where it was colder than the mean temperature was about 1 to 2 degrees Celsius colder across the globe. The Year Without a Summer was 1.7 degrees colder. Now, Toba, of course, that was 50,000 years ago. So that's a whole different thing. So don't get confused. I just can't remember the name of the volcano that caused the Earth out of summer. I don't want to look it up. No, it was not Krakatoa. Krakatoa was in the 1850s. The Earth out of summer was in the 1817. And that's about the time the little ice age came to an end. But things were colder. France was colder. And there were wolves. There's a few different famous wolves from Paris. Here, let me show you here. I'll pull up a list. Let's see here. Check this out. Check it. Okay, so let's go back. We gotta go way back. This is all the wolf attacks in all the world. We want to go back to here. Now, see, we're starting back in the 1700s, the 18th century. And if you look right here, it'll tell you what district that these wolf attacks are taking place in. If you notice a trend, raise your hand. I mean, obviously Italy has some problems too. Look at that. Italy, North Italy, but as you know from looking at this, southern France and North Italy, they're not all that far apart. There's Turin right there. Yeah, Italy and southern France are neighbors, so that's not surprising. That's a good spot to start with the list, though. Like, check this out. So, starting with Gévaudan. Let's see, as we move our way up. France. It's starting to lose meaning. France. I sound like one of the seabirds from Finding Nemo, except for instead of saying mine, I'm saying France. France. And back to North Italy. France. Are you getting the point, France? France. And in the Netherlands, France. We're up to 1811. France. Is it coming across? Is the message I'm laying down coming through? France. There's a wolf problem in France in the Little Ice Age. France. Oh my gosh. I didn't expect it to be this long. Look at that. Jesus. There's not even any other places named here. How far until we're not in France anymore? Estonia. 1820. But then it jumps right back to France. And then Prussia, which is, yeah. And then more France. Are we getting the point? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? There was a wolf problem in France. All right.
Others believe that the beast may have actually been of prehistoric nature and had somehow survived all of this time, though there is little evidence to prove this.
Just a prehistoric nature doesn't tell us anything. They're saying it's a dire wolf, because those are in North America. Is it a cave hyena? That'd be kind of cool. But you think if we'd had a cave hyenas in the valleys and mountains of France and Italy, we would have known about it before now. Their hyenas are pretty loud, pretty ambitious predators.
A more compelling idea that stems from Damal's original assessment of the beast having a lion as a father is also considered by historians. Some descriptions of the beast at the time describe it as having a flat head, reddish fur, a dark line across its spine, as well as spots on its side, which happen to appear on younger lions. The descriptions go on to talk about its long tail with a tassel on its end, its long body, and the so-called supernatural aspect that suggests the beast could leap up into high places. Roars were said to have been heard from the forest, and large paw prints were also discovered. In essence, this sounds an awful lot like a lion if you ask me, but if you ask the common...
You know, a lion is a good assessment of those descriptions. Some of the descriptions are different, though. Some of them do say it's stripes. It has stripes like a tiger, or a striped hyena, or a mane like a horse.
When people of 18th century Gévaudan, they may have only had a vague idea as to what a lion looked like,
True.
and certainly wouldn't have known what a sub-adult male lion looked like, with its mane still not fully formed, and its distinct characteristics yet to still emerge. But I hear you ask, what the heck would a lion be doing in the forest of 18th century Gévaudan?
Gévaudan.
Well, during the 17th and 18th century of France, menageries of exotic animals had become very popular, and were frequently displayed for public viewing. It wouldn't be entirely far-fetched that this one lion had escaped its captivity and sought refuge in the remote forest, more scared of the humans who had captured it than the humans who would later seek to kill it. Another interesting idea by historians is that Jean Chastel was actually a known criminal before his imprisonment by Antoine, and that he had been captured because he'd been training an animal to attack people. This animal was said to be none other than the beast of Gévaudan itself, and so when he was released, he was able to easily kill the beast, having trained it to be docile to himself, and thus whisk away his reputation as being a criminal and replace it with one of him being a hero.
Well, Ferox species Feroxa species are bipedal though, and we'll get to cryptids with the spec cryptozoology. If you like speculative cryptozoology, speculative evolution, I'm doing a series on that. So yeah, I think next we have Mothman on the list though. So we'll get down to European werewolves at some point, I'm sure. But Thought Potato has a good video about werewolves.
But the tale of the beast of Gévaudan remains mostly unknown, and it's still shrouded in mystery. With that in mind, you yourselves may as well take your best guess as to what you think was really going on here. Do you think that the beast was actually some otherworldly creature that could rise from the dead? Or was it actually just down to the fact that there were so many wolves in the area that people mistook its appearance? Perhaps you think that the wolf was actually this escaped lion. Or maybe you think Jean Chastel was a mastermind criminal able to redeem himself in the eyes of the law by his cleverly thought out plan.
Now the Brotherhood of the Wolf movie actually it actually leans really hard into that with Chastel. It's not Chastel though that ends up being the Beast's master. It's somebody else. But I won't give away too many spoilers if you wanted to watch the movie. But the beast does turn out to be a lion, so that's the path that they go down in that film. But the problem I have with the lion hypothesis is mostly that people know what a cat is. People know the difference between a cat and a canid and a felid, for the most part, at least a cat and a dog. And if they saw a lion, I mean, this is France, so they have lynx. So you think that if it was a lion, the comparison would have been more likely to be compared to a cat or a lynx than to a wolf. But as far as animals that match the description, though, I mean, not wrong. There were a lot of attacks, though. I mean, look at this map. Right? It was everywhere and anywhere along this valley. And then we go in here and look at some of this cool stuff that I've pinpointed. Now, some of the stuff we can get down and look at it, some of it we can't. We're going to start north and work our way down, though. So we'll start over here. what we have here is the chapel. This is the chapel near where the beast met its final fate. This is the chapel, allegedly, that Chastel, that he blessed his bullets at and everything, and got his holy water. Now, this is, yeah, here's the forest that we talked about before. So, imagine this forest was a lot bigger back then. We've done a lot of clear cutting since then. But this is that chapel. I did find some place that had a better view of it. Let me see. I have that over here. Yeah. This is what the chapel looked like, or looks like today. And I just thought it was a pretty place. Alright, so next, moving down the list, let's see. We're going to go way over here. And this is the famous statue, Monument Marie Jean Valette. And unfortunately, you can't drop yourself down in here. There's no way to drop yourself into this village. Sad but true, but the statue's right here. I'm like, it's the really cool statue. Let me see if I can pull up. Jean Valette. I'm just trying to find a good picture of it because it's a badass statue. There we go. Let's open that up in a new tab. Oh, I guess it's this one I already have pulled up here. Just a different page of it. There we go. It's got her stabbing that sucker. And there's a different depiction of it. Now this is one statue. This one's my favorite too. This is my favorite of the reconstructions. I like the way the beast looks here, and I like that we got this badass girl stabbing it. Alright, and then moving on, continuing our trek south. Here's another memorial. This is one's to Jean Chastel. And I think we can drop down. Nope, we can't drop down on that one. That's alright. You can see what it looks like here. Yeah, so that's the plaque de Jean Chastel. And then, so if I go on like a backpacking trip to France, I can go down this valley and kind of zigzag and hit all these spots. See all the different statues and stuff. Here's another statue. Now this one's more reptilian looking. Look at the reptilian looking tail, kind of like a big dragon. Let's see if we go further up the road, if we can get a better angle on it. But it does have the wolf-like head. It's pretty cool. I like this one. 5 out of 10. No, it'd be higher than that. 7 out of 10. The one with Homegirl and her spear, though, that's a 9 out of 10 for sure. The only thing to make it cooler is if there was like, they figure out a way to go like blood burst from the wound. But yeah. Let's see. Moving on down here. Here's another statue of La Bête. Right here. This one's not quite as big. As you can see, a lot smaller. There's the wolf. And the wolf's master. And the shepherd. And their sheep. So, yeah, this is like almost like a diorama of the experience. Alright, and then straighten yourself out. There we go. Alright, now this Chateau de la Baume is where some of the sightings took place when Antoine was there. So that's this fancy building right here. Not you people. This right here. Yeah. The chateau. Now, you can actually get the chateau from a few different angles, which is cool. You can get it from this side too. And you can see, you know, forested area around here, so. This is one of the areas where it was sighted, hunting and prowling. And then down here we have, I think this is our last memorial to look at. And this one's the one that's kind of crude. This one's sort of an abstract piece of architecture. It makes the beast look kind of alien, where it's like squared and stuff, geometric, but it's an art style. I think it's pretty cool. But the beast, and it makes much more sense to look at this place like this to see what its range was. It was moving down. It moved down this river valley, and then was working kind of between here and here, and then worked its way down this river valley. So this land here is pretty rough. Like, if you drop yourself down into it, you'll see that there's lots of rocky stonework and moorland. Oh, that's weird. Turns weird green there. That must be the portal that the beast comes through. But yeah, rocky and wooded and hard to cross, right? Like for hunters and such. But for a wolf pack, they can use this type of terrain to their advantage. But yeah, this countryside is forested and, I mean, heavily forested. Look at that. Heavily forested. The whole region. So it's no surprise at all that this area would be a region where large carnivores might be able to thrive and eke out a niche in a period where firearms were a little less effective than they are today. Anyhow, yeah, the Beast of Gévaudan. Now, here we go. Let's talk about unknown creatures. I liked this video.
Welcome to Dates and Dead Guys. Today we're going to talk about how people historically have described what they witness and use animals as a common reference point. I wasn't really sure where to start this story. Just a warning in advance, this is a little bit more abstract than my other videos, so forgive me. I will get back to more traditional historical content in the next one, but for now just humor me. You may find this interesting. In the way that we...
Oh, is Behe somewhere? I didn't even see him. Are you talking about Michael Behe? Or Blessed Behe? I don't know. Blessed Behe's not here either. I don't think. But...
live. The vast majority of the natural world around us is defined, at least in the way that we need it to be. But it wasn't that long ago that outside our direct living experience, you didn't know what the outside world was like. I have never been to China, but in 2022, I know what a panda is. I have watched documentaries. I've been to the zoo. I use the internet. I know what a panda is. We know what a panda is. But if we lived 200 years ago and down the street we ran into one chomping on a patch of bamboo, we wouldn't know what we saw. How would we describe it? Do you think that we would be accurate? And would people even believe us? That is...
Well, I don't know. If I saw a panda, I think if I was from Europe, I would know what a bear is. So I'd probably call it a bear, hypothetically. Maybe a dog, though. Maybe some kind of weird dog.
kind of what people were experiencing centuries ago whenever they went far from home. For most of human existence, at least since agriculture, people had lived and died within one small area, never going outside the boundaries of civilization and not knowing for sure what is out there. It was mysterious. So when there was something different in the direct environment, describing it could become tricky and unreliable. The Greek historian Herodotus took a trip to Egypt around 450
Okay,
BC.
we need to make sure that when you talk about Herodotus, you need to make sure you have a hefty grain of salt in the conversation.
When he was there, he explored Egyptian culture and history, but he was dumbfounded by their animals and spent time writing about them. There was nothing like them in Greece. While on the Nile, he speaks about different animals that he observes. He names and he describes them. Try to guess which one he's talking about here. I'll even make it multiple choice. Herodotus writes, quote, "It has 4 feet with cloven hooves like an ox, a blunt snout, a mane like a horse, conspicuous tusks, and a horse's tail. It neighs. It is the size of the largest ox, and its hide is so thick that once it is dried, spear shafts can be crafted from it." End quote.
So, only one of these has tusks, though. The buffalo has horns, and the rhino has horn. The hippo has tusks. But you get the point that he's trying to make here.
Did you guess hippopotamus? The name hippopotamus would have been an additional clue because the word itself means horse on the river in Greek. But regardless, he got some things about the animal wrong. Hippos don't neigh, and they definitely don't have a mane. He's also not quite right about a feet. The description was written about 2,500 years ago, and I wasn't there. For all I know, Herodotus never saw a hippo and was just using the descriptions of the locals and translators. But let's assume he did actually see it. Would that make his description accurate? What if he saw a hippo and didn't write down his description for a week or so? Might that change what he says? Herodotus was a historian. He was observing these things, listening to people, taking notes, and he still gets it wrong.
Herodotus was a horrible historian, though. I cannot stress this enough. Herodotus was... just go look at his work. Look at the claims he made about what he experienced in his travels. They're traveler tales. It's like historical fiction.
Modern times, eyewitness testimony has been challenged. One study showed that 75% of the people who were wrongly convicted of crimes like rape and murder were done so off of eyewitness testimony. People testifying were sure of what they saw, but exonerations might come later with new evidence like video or DNA. Our brains have a hard time remembering details, especially in cases where our attention is drawn to something specific. An example would be if a criminal was pointing a gun at me. I'm less likely to remember what he's wearing and exactly what he looks like. I'm focused on the gun. My brain may paint the rest of the picture, but it could be false or led by outside influences to be false. If I am focused on the magnificent tusks of a hippo, is it possible that I misremember that it had a mane? Even in cases where people can clearly reference something in front of them, the words they choose may make it difficult to understand what they're seeing.
Congrats on the gift memberships, everybody. If you got one. Yay.
46 BC, 400 years after Herodotus went to Egypt, Cleopatra gave Julius Caesar a gift, an animal that he took back with him to Rome. Cassius Dio, a Greek but a historian for Rome, described the animal given to Caesar. So let's play our game again. What is he describing? No multiple choice this time. Quote, "I will give an account of the so-called camel leopard. This animal is like a camel in all respects, except that his legs are not all the same length.
I can tell what it is by its name. Camel leopard.
The hind legs being the shorter. Beginning from the rump, it grows gradually higher, which gives it the appearance of mounting some elevation and towering high aloft. It supports the rest of its body on its front legs and lifts its neck in turn to an unusual height. Its skin is spotted like a leopard, and for this reason it bears the joint name of both animals." End quote. If you guessed a giraffe, then you are correct. Hopefully the neck gave it away. That's a pretty distinguishable characteristic. Dio lived a couple hundred years after the time of...
It's because Dio rocks and Herodotus lies. I swear Herodotus is we were living ancient Roman times and we sent Donald Trump out to explore the world and come back and tell us about it. That's Herodotus.
Caesar. So he wasn't there, but he's using reference points he knows, like a camel for shape or a leopard for color, in order to define it. Other historians were less kind in talking about the giraffe's demeanor. Pliny thought of it as some sort of wild sheep, and Edward Gibbon, in the history of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, said the giraffe was, quote, "the tallest, the most gentle, and the most useless of all the large quadrupeds." End quote. Kind of a mean jab there at the end by Gibbon, calling it useless. But they are gentle, kids can feed them, and zoos. The Romans had a different kind of zoo, though, the Nationes, or wild beast hunts, and Caesar fed his giraffe to lions. He might not have, but at the very least he showed them off at the games, so it's unclear. So what's the point? People don't always know what they see. And
Giraffes, at least some giraffes died during the Colosseum battles. That goes without saying. And as gentle as they think a giraffe is, it'll drop kick some lions across the stadium if you put them in there with it.
When they do, it doesn't mean that they would define it well. A giraffe is not a camel, but we see what Dio means, and the reference can be useful when describing it. Poor animal descriptions are also kind of fun, so feel encouraged to leave.
And when Dio was writing this, that wasn't a camel, that was a dromedary. What they would have called a camel in Dio's time would have been a Bactrian camel, the two-humped camel. So Bactrians were what they called a camel, and then they called dromedary camels just dromedaries. So there were camels and dromedaries, Bactrian camels and dromedary camels. But yeah, that's just the way that they named them in ancient times.
A badly written animal description in the comments, and I will do my best to guess what animal you're writing about. It does have to be pretty accurate, though. You can't give a hippo a name. Be better than Herodotus. When people see things they don't fully understand, they have a hard time describing it. They can also misremember.
Herodotus is a low bar.
And draw conclusions that are filled in by the mind. People, probably seeing bears in the woods, swear they saw Bigfoot. Sailors, centuries ago, told stories of sea monsters. Columbus, even, in January of 1493, wrote about his men seeing mermaids. A lot of people, they think they actually saw manatees, which would be disappointing if you were attracted to fish girls. But even if some details are wrong, others...
But thick girls. If you're attracted to thick girls, manatees might be right up your alley. Don't shame.
Be correct. Bears may not be Bigfoot, but they are huge and sometimes move on their hind legs. Something like the long neck of a giraffe is distinguishable in a description and can give you real hints as to what people are actually talking about. The most notable example I can think of is the beast of Gévaudan. I'm only going to outline the story. Detailed versions have been done many times by very talented people. But in short, between
This is why I picked this video.
1764 and 1767, a strange beast roamed the countryside in France. Some reports have over 100 people being killed, and there were something like 200 reported attacks. Most thought it was a wolf. France has been no stranger to wolf attacks over the centuries, but no one really knew for sure what they were dealing with here. One description of the beast, published in 1764, the year the attack started, describes as follows. Quote, reddish-brown with a dark ridge stripe down its back. Resembles a wolf or hyena, but as big as a donkey. Long gaping jaw, 6 claws, pointy upright ears, and a supple furry tail. Mobile like a cat's and can knock you over. Its cry, more like a horse neighing than a wolf howling. End quote. Another young girl attacked by the creature, but having escaped, said it was, quote, like a wolf, yet not a wolf. End quote. Other descriptions include a tail with a tuft at the end, a wide mouth and a broad chest, a white heart-shaped pattern on its underbelly. People in France knew what wolves were. It adds a degree of credibility that something else was roaming the countryside when people are saying that's not what this is. Cassius Dio didn't say a giraffe was a camel, but that it was like a camel. There was so much killing in the French countryside that people were afraid to work in the fields, and that's not good for the king. That's how he gets his food. So he hires expert hunters to go after this.
But yeah, would they have said it's like a wolf, though, is the question, because the people of France would know what a cat is compared to a dog and would be able to tell an animal that was cat-like as opposed to an animal that was dog-like, one would expect anyway.
The hunters kill dozens of wolves, but the killings by the beast continue. So maybe it wasn't a wolf they had to be looking for. There is debate today on what this thing was. Reddish-brown, tough at the tail, big like a donkey. There are many alternative hypotheses, but some popular ones include an immature male lion, because their mane sometimes can form a stripe down their back. Another option would be a striped hyena. The problem is that neither is native to France. But members of the aristocracy like to have nice things, and sometimes those nice things come from far away. They can also be dangerous, and if they escape, they can hurt people. Nile crocodiles are from Africa, but they have been captured in Florida's Everglades. Every few years, someone's pet tiger or lion gets out here in America, so it's not unthinkable that something like this can happen. But just because the accounts don't sound quite like a wolf, does that mean...
Well, I mean, the Everglades, Florida is just full of all kinds of... Florida has all kinds of invasives now. What am I yelling at you about, John? What'd you do? Oh, John had to go.
They're accurate. Remember Herodotus and the hippo. Hippos don't have a mane. Is it possible these accounts are similar because they are influenced by some sort of societal hysteria? Are they remembering incorrectly, like the countless trials of the wrongfully convicted? 3 years after the attacks began, a creature was killed by a hunter named Jean Chastel. Inside the beast is a collarbone of a person, and after this animal was killed, the attacks in the French countryside stopped. The kill was reported in an official French document called the Man Report. The report said, quote, this animal, which seemed to us to be a wolf, but extraordinary and very different by its figure and its proportion of the wolves that we see in this country. This is what we have certified by more than 300 people from all around who came to see him. Several hunters and many knowledgeable people have actually made us note that this animal has resemblances to the wolf, but only in its tail and behind, end quote. They describe the head as monstrous, and the report says the fur is reddish-gray and the creature has black bands or stripes. On its chest, it had a white mark and a heart shape. It is also noted that, quote, this seemed to us a remarkable observation, because in the opinion of these hunters, such colors have never been seen in...
Oh my gosh, I wish so much that they had preserved the skull of this animal, but then there wouldn't be any mystery for us to explore now. I wouldn't even know about this if they knew what it was. Like, if they had the skull... Well, maybe I would know about it, but it'd be like, oh, the escaped lion of Gévaudan or something like that. If they had the skull preserved. It doesn't take much to preserve a skull, guys. Come on. Mud can do it on accident.
Wolves, end quote. Maybe the beast of Gévaudan was a wolf, but the reporting on it doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Maybe it was something else, something that the French peasantry, hunters, and even the aristocracy couldn't explain. So we played this game a few times already. What do you think it was?
Alright, it's time for the Hive to play that game too. We're going to say, what do you think it was? What do you think the beast of Gévaudan was? Southern France? Africa's awful far away for it to have been a natural lion. It had to cross the Strait of Gibraltar, but I don't think that happened. So someone would have to have brought it to France if it was a lion. If it was a wolf dog, which is another popular speculation, that would explain why it looked different. Well, here, look, there's lions right there. Look, the lion came all the way down here. All right, that's a really bad joke, but what do you guys think? Was the beast of Gévaudan a lion, a wolf, some sort of strange hybrid, a werewolf, a serial killer? Let me know in the comments down below. And what happened here? And yeah, and please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. All right, live from the Hive, people. Remember, you know the game, you know the rules. Don't leave. We're not going anywhere. We got to get weird with it here in a second. We're going to have some Baba Vanga. If you don't know what a Baba Vanga is, maybe stick around and find out, because we're going to. Because we are going to. But first, I'm going to take an intermission, and I'm going to go potty and refresh my coffee. I encourage you to refresh your coffee and go potty, too, if you need to. Regardless, though, I'm going to have some intermission videos playing, so you can listen, you can watch, but please don't leave. Please don't leave. We're just getting started. I see 27 people here. There's no reason for us to not have 27 when I get right back in 3 minutes or so. So I will see you guys momentarily. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Damn. I thought I was still muted. Welcome to welcome to Getting Weird with It over here. We are about to dive into some prophecy. Do you guys like prophecy? Every now and then I like to jump in and look at some predictions for the current year made by famous prophets throughout history. Obviously Nostradamus is the big one, but we've had some that were more recent and used more used more modern language to describe what they were talking about. So that's the problem with Nostradamus, is that a lot of it's all poetic. But the figure today is she's dead now. She died in 1996, but is Baba Vanga or Vanga? Yeah, Baba Vanga. And she's Bulgarian, but her predictions were also given in like poetry form, but that seems to be the way to do prophecies. You have to do it in poems, in obscure poems that you can correlate to actual events without saying the actual events. Yeah.
Baba Vanga, a mystic whose visions have stirred global curiosity, left behind terrifying predictions for 2024 that continue to unfold in mysterious ways.
Global warming.
Known for the eerie accuracy of her chilling prophecies, her insights for the future resonate deeply with those who are concerned about what will happen in the remainder of 2024.
Now, this came out a couple months ago. We're further into 2024 now. They got little less than 2.5 months to fill out the rest of these prophecies that they make during this video. Let's do it.
She passed away in 1996 at the age of 84, but it seems Baba Vanga's prediction for 2024 has begun, and it terrifies everyone. Why does this prediction stand out as particular?
Are you guys terrified? You're supposed to be terrified. That's the rule. He just said it. Terrifies everyone. You all count as part of everyone.
Ominous. Join us as we unravel the secrets behind Baba Vanga's foreboding vision for 2024.
So I will eventually probably do Cat Courage on Fapiano. I don't want people to feel like I'm bullying specifically American evangelicals, like that's my focus or anything, because woo is everywhere. People grifting and saying there's supernatural things are happening everywhere to try to. Now I don't know if Baba Vanga's if she believed her own prophecies or not. Maybe she did. I don't know, but I don't believe them.
Explore its terrifying impact on our lives as we know it. Early life. Born on January 31st, 1911, in the town of Strumica, then part of the Ottoman Empire, Vangelia Pandeva Dimitrova, who would later be known as Baba Vanga, came from humble beginnings. Her life in Bulgaria, before she became known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, began in a small, impoverished village where her parents, simple farmers, struggled.
Does Brie have that village on the map? Of course she does. What are you talking about? Duh. Which village was it? Yeah, there's Baba Vanga Museum here. That's where she grew up, or when she was an adult. Hold on. She did her... This is the village she was born and raised in. Yep, right here. And then when she did all her prophesizing, excuse me, she was living here. We might have to go down to the Baba Vanga Museum here. I keep saying her name wrong. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. You can go inside. Check this out. But we'll do that in a minute. Let's finish the video. Let's watch the video first.
To make ends meet. Baba Vanga, one of several siblings, experienced a
Now my nose is
childhood
running.
filled with hardships, yet was deeply rooted in the close-knit fabric of her community. Setting the stage for Baba Vanga's later spiritual inclinations were the local traditions, the mystic tales told by the elders, and a freak accident involving her eyesight. The accident took her eyesight, but it gave her something in return that ultimately changed the course of her life. The tragedy struck when Vanga was just 12 years old. A fierce storm, described by some as a freak tornado, swept through her village, lifting the young girl off the ground and throwing her into a field. It sounds like pure fiction, I know, but many records report that it actually happened to her. So after a long search, she was found covered in dirt and stones, with injuries that would change her life forever. Despite their best efforts, doctors could not save her sight, and she gradually became
What happened to her sight, though, is kind of the thing I'm wondering, because it, like, I'm not saying that the damage you get to your body during a tornado can't cause blindness, but what sort of of injury did she receive? Like a head injury? Is it
be blind? It's really tragic, but this period of darkness was a peculiar turning point for Baba Vanga. In her blindness, her other senses seemed to sharpen, and she began to experience unusual perceptions. Locals soon noticed her abilities to predict small events in the village, like finding lost animals or foreseeing minor illnesses. This marked the beginning of her reputation as someone with supernatural gifts. Thanks to these abilities...
How does it help to foresee illnesses, though, I wonder? I mean, because, like, oh, you're going to get sick this winter, and then you get sick that winter, like, what good did that do? Maybe you piled more firewood early on or something, I guess. Finding lost animals for sure, though.
She was able to see glimpses of the future, including terrifying visions for 2024. To understand these visions, we need to delve into Baba...
How many years out did she make predictions? Because every year they do this, Baba Vanga's predictions for this year. But why... Or did she like have a notebook, or somebody write down her? Or did she just sit around and like, and then 2024 this will happen, and this will happen, and that'll happen, and this will happen, and then in 2025 this will happen, and that'll happen, and this will happen, and that'll happen.
Vanga's incredible life, the seer of Petrich. As word of her ability spread, people from surrounding areas...
So, could a head impact result in optic nerve to sever? I think that's possible if you get hit hard enough in the right spot. Optic nerves, that's what I meant, yeah.
Areas began to seek her out, looking for guidance and healing. Baba Vanga's small home in the town of Petrich became a sanctuary for those in need. She became known for her predictions and her herbal remedies, which she prepared herself despite her blindness. Her methods were simple yet profound. Visitors reported that she would touch their hands and immediately begin talking about intimate details of their lives, predicting future events with uncanny accuracy.
So was she doing like cold reading though? How did she do it? You never hear any like recordings or anything of her. I guess it would be in Bulgarian, so I wouldn't be able to understand it anyway. But they could have like subtitles, and I could see her demeanor and how she's interacting with the person, and maybe see if I can't pick up on some cold reading techniques that she's doing. Is she doing the seeing someone's name starts with M or some crap like that? Because that annoys me.
Advice often included prescriptions for herbal treatments, prayer, and acts of penance or kindness. The interest in Baba Vanga outside her local village grew and led to her becoming a sort of global sensation, voice to the world. Baba Vanga's fame transcended national borders, and she became a figure of global intrigue during the latter half of the 20th century. Politicians, dignitaries, and even celebrities visited her, seeking insight into personal and global issues. Reports of her accurate predictions reached the media, leading to coverage that both celebrated and scrutinized her mystic prowess. Among her most famous predictions were events of great global significance, such as the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the Chernobyl disaster, the rise of terrorism.
Let me see, where did she predict Chernobyl? Some predictions attributed to her, including, so saying she predicted the dissolution of the Soviet Union, the date of Stalin's death. Where can I see this? What words did she say? According to local legend. See, this is the annoying part about a lot of prophets, is that it just says that they predicted this. It doesn't tell you what their actual words of prediction were, right? It doesn't tell you what she actually said in her own words. Just how someone interpreted it and then translated it to English, or what they think it meant. 9/11, though, you got horror. The American brethren will fall after being attacked by the steel birds. The wolves will be howling in a bush, and innocent blood will be gushing. Yeah.
And the attack on the World Trade Center in 2001. Her method of divination often involved a state of trance, and her visions came to her in fragmented symbolic messages, which she would then interpret for her visitors. Her prophecies, often spoken in a poetic and cryptic language, were interpreted and reinterpreted over the years, adding to her mystique and the aura of legend that surrounded her. Despite the challenge of understanding them, the mystique surrounding Baba Vanga's
The challenge of understanding them, exactly. Let's pull those prophecies up and see how they actually sound. Because I bet they don't sound as straightforward as you're claiming they do after the fact.
For 2024 keeps us captivated, as it is said to reveal terrifying...
I mean, you take something like steel birds and say, yep, steel birds, that means steel birds and wolves howling in the bushes. That means the World Trade Center attack. That doesn't... Hey, Constellation, thank you so much. Wow, I can't imagine going through life blind. Many of us need to be reminded how lucky we are. We can see. You don't know what you have until it's gone. I feel sorry for that woman. Yeah, for sure. And making the most of it and finding a way to make money when you're blind, doing herbal stuff and divination and whatnot. I get it. There's people that do that every day. And if you're blind, and there's some parts of public life that you're limited on how you can engage in them, and where you can find employment among the population. Yeah, I get it. I do.
Events that are about to occur. Examination of specific prophecies for 2024. In 2024, several of Baba Vanga's prophecies gained renewed interest. Among these, her predictions about environmental catastrophes and significant global diplomatic shifts are particularly noteworthy. According to interpretations of her visions, 2024 is expected to witness severe climatic events and a remarkable incident in global politics involving major powers. These events are said to be pivotal, aligning with her long-standing warnings.
See, this is wars and rumors of wars type of predictions, like a Bible prediction. But I will say, with climate change, and this year we did have a hell of a hurricane season. I still got friends and stuff that are down and out from hurricane damage. Helene was pretty vicious.
About the Earth's health and humanity's impact on it. One of the most striking prophecies attributed to Baba Vanga for 2024 is the supposed Great Shaking, a term that has been interpreted to mean either a significant earthquake or a metaphorical shaking of the global political landscape. While her prophecies are often cryptic, the implication is that this event will bring about a profound re-evaluation of how nations interact and govern. Despite their terrifying nature, skeptics cannot help but question the reliability of these.
It's predicting MAGA. She predicted MAGA, guys. MAGA's gonna take the world and freaking shake it up like a damn Etch-a-Sketch. We gotta vote. Baba Vanga says to vote.
These predictions. While we can never know for sure, we can gain some insight and acceptance by looking at the accuracy of previous forecasts. Before delving into a chilling prediction for 2024 that terrified everyone, her past predictions, their accuracy, are worth analyzing.
Okay.
Analysis of the accuracy and interpretation of past predictions.
Please.
The intrigue surrounding Baba Vanga largely stems from the perceived accuracy of her past predictions. Scholars and enthusiasts have meticulously examined her track record, noting both hits and misses. The accuracy of her prophecies is often debated, with supporters
hits and misses. What to what ratio, I wonder?
Highlighting her correct predictions and detractors pointing to the vague and non-specific nature of many of her prophecies, which could be interpreted in multiple ways. An in-depth analysis reveals a pattern. Her most accurate predictions often concern large-scale disasters or significant political changes, events that have a broad impact and are remembered.
Because there's always disasters and political changes. Not a year goes by without some kind of disaster somewhere. It's a big world with lots of people that are affected by a lot of different factors, from earthquakes to tsunamis to floods, wildfires. Did I say earthquakes? Tornadoes, hurricanes, tidal waves, pandemics, epidemics, you name it. Yeah, disasters always waiting around the corner somewhere.
Remembered in historical contexts. For example, her prediction of the sinking of the Russian submarine Kursk in 2000 was shockingly precise, mentioning the name Kursk directly in association with water and tragedy. Let's see what it was all about. You see, Baba Vanga made a terrifying prediction in 1980, claiming that the city of Kursk would drown due to a catastrophe so severe that it would cause shockwaves of grief all over the world. Her forewarning took on a haunting reality in August 2000 when tragedy struck near Kursk. A nuclear submarine with 188 crew members aboard met a grim fate as it sank into the depths, encapsulating the dire prophecy and leaving the world in mourning over the immense loss.
How is that the same thing? How is that the same thing? He said, oh, the city's going to be destroyed in a flood. Oh, now the submarine sank, so that's the same thing. What?
Sounds unbelievable, I know, but it doesn't end there. Then, there's also Baba Vanga's prediction about the September 11th attacks, and this one was terrifying, to say the least. In a hauntingly prophetic statement made in 1989, Baba Vanga uttered the words, "horror, horror," predicting a grim future for the American brethren who, she claimed, would fall after an assault by steel birds. She also depicted a scene where the wolves will be howling in a bush and innocent blood will be gushing. This eerie metaphor, according to her ardent followers, symbolized the hijacked planes that would later catalyze a global crisis. It's particularly striking that she mentioned the word Bush, a potential reference to then-President George Bush.
Oh, come now.
Would later command the wolves of American military might in a retaliatory war on terror. This chilling prophecy became a dark reality as the entire United States was enveloped in a shadow of pain and helplessness. The giant, struck down in that catastrophic moment, has since risen. It should be noted that there's also a complex web of beliefs about what Vanga actually predicted versus what is ascribed to her after the fact. This ambiguity enhances the mystical aura surrounding her predictions, making her a figure of ongoing fascination. Baba Vanga's prophecies have fascinated the world not only for their bold claims, but also for the thematic elements they encompass. Her forecasts span a wide range of topics, each marked...
But what is her hit and miss rates? That's what I want to know. What is her hit and miss rate?
by its own distinctive characteristics and implications for the world. But among the array of Baba Vanga's prophecies, one stands out for its prescience and relevance to our digital age: her prediction about the rise of cyber threats. Remarkably, Baba Vanga foresaw the increase in hacker attacks on vital infrastructure, positing a substantial global security risk, all at a time.
And what were her words on this one? Tell me what she said.
When the internet was merely nascent, years before her
What did
death
she say?
in 1996. She envisioned cyber hackers intensifying threats to national security.
What did she say?
By specifically targeting critical systems like power grids and water treatment facilities. Echoing Baba Vanga's dire warnings, recent developments have underscored the vulnerability of our interconnected world. Notably, AT&T revealed...
Wouldn't it have been crazy if he used that for an ad for like NordVPN or something? Baba Vanga predicted cyber attacks in the future. So, I don't have to worry about that because I use NordVPN or some crap like that.
A concerning breach. A dataset found on the dark web that includes sensitive information such as social security numbers and passcodes for about 7.6 million current and 65.4 million former account holders. The origin of the data, whether directly from AT&T or one of its vendors, remains unclear. In response, the Dallas-based telecommunications giant has launched a thorough investigation.
Okay, I get that all this happened, but what does this have to do with Baba Vanga's prediction? What did she say about this? What were her
commenced
words?
The process of notifying affected customers. This incident is not isolated. Major tech giants like Apple, Meta, and X have also disclosed significant cybersecurity attacks in recent years, underscoring...
Yes, there's been tons of data breaches. I get it.
The growing challenge of protecting digital assets in a hyper-connected era. Baba Vanga's foresight into the cyber threat landscape is a stark reminder of the ongoing battle between technological advancement and the preservation of security and...
I am really now, I'm just waiting for this to pop into an ad for a VPN.
Privacy. Do you think this has something to do with Baba Vanga's chilling prediction about the rise of cyber threats? It certainly seems that way.
It seems that Baba Vanga sounds like she was pretty smart and was like, yeah, this internet thing is going to take off. You wait and see. There's going to be all the banking and stuff's going to be online and you're going to have to worry about hackers. Yeah.
Vanga's prophetic insights reached even into the personal realm, as she seemingly predicted the exact date of her own demise. In a 1990 interview, she specifically marked August 11th, 1996, as the day she would shuffle off this mortal coil, a prediction that eerily came true. Yet, as with everything related to...
Now, I mean, yeah, that could be true. I mean, apparently she did it in with witnesses made that prediction, but that makes me feel like maybe she... I don't want to make accusations, but there's ways to make sure you die on the date you predicted.
Baba Vanga, the exact details of what she said are shrouded in
mystery. Oh my gosh, Bugbot hasn't even been here all morning. Thank you, PC. Gracious.
In the realm of politics, Baba Vanga's predictions were
Bugbot,
equally
you
striking.
Lazy ass.
She famously foretold that the 44th President of the United States would be black, a prophecy validated by Barack Obama's historic election.
It'll be here
However,
in just a second.
She also suggested that this president would be America's last, a statement that continues to fuel debate and speculation. Additionally, there are claims that Baba Vanga made predictions about Donald Trump,
being back,
asserting that while many would pin their hopes on him to bring positive change, he would instead lead the country to decline and exacerbate divisions between the northern and southern states. As with all...
Constellation Pegasus, you hear that? Baba Vanga does not think much of your guy. You said you're a Trump supporter. Baba Vanga's like, nah, this guy's going to lead the world to decline. I really hope you reconsider, though. I'm like a trans woman sitting in front of you right now, terrified about what would happen to me and my rights in a second Trump term. So, I do hope you reconsider.
Her prophecies, these statements about political figures and national fate stir a mix of intrigue, skepticism, and contemplation, cementing Baba Vanga's legacy as a mystic whose visions continue to provoke thought and dialogue long after her passing. Now let's talk about another chilling prediction that came true. In 1969, Baba Vanga ominously prophesied a dire fate for a prime minister, whispering that the dress will destroy her. She envisioned an orange-yellow dress in the smoke and fire, a chilling premonition that would decades later align hauntingly with reality. Former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, led the nation through the tumultuous early 1980s, a period marked by her controversial decision to order a military attack on the Golden Temple, the most sacred...
You don't know the rules. If you get stung by bug bites, you have to send it to sting somebody else. That's how it goes. So if you get stung, you just do the exclamation point sting and it sends it to somebody else. That's how we play here in the Hive. You can SWAT first if you want, exclamation point SWAT, but inevitably you will have to send it away.
Sight in Sikhism. Indira Gandhi's life came to a violent end in October 1984 when two of her Sikh bodyguards, Satwant Singh and Beyant Singh, assassinated her. The assassination, seen as a revenge attack for her actions at the Golden Temple, shockingly mirrored Baba Vanga's vision. On the day of her murder, Indira Gandhi was clad in a saffron-colored sari, embodying the prophecy of the orange-yellow dress enveloped in the smoke and fire of her violent demise. Baba Vanga's predictions can seem random, but they can actually be classified into a few groups: apocalyptic and catastrophic events. One of the most gripping aspects of Baba Vanga's prophecies involves her predictions of apocalyptic and catastrophic events. These foretellings often...
Is Bugbot a Gen Xer? I'm a millennial. I'm proud millennial. As proud as I can be. Anyway, I think millennials are all right. I like zennials better for the most part, but...
describe natural
Zoomers. I like Zoomers.
Disasters such as tsunamis, earthquakes, and hurricanes of unprecedented scale. Her predictions also touch on man-made disasters, hinting at nuclear incidents and environmental catastrophes that could lead to widespread suffering. The vividness with which she describes these events contributes to a sense of urgency and a call for humanity to heed the warnings about our treatment of the natural world. These catastrophic prophecies serve as a stark reminder.
So let's get to them. I want to hear the prophecies. I would have picked a different video if I knew you were just going to meander like this and not tell me what her actual prophecies for this year are. In her own words. Don't just tell me, oh, we think this means this. I predict wars and rumors of wars because we've heard it before.
The potential consequences of human negligence and environmental mistreatment. For example, Baba Vanga foretold a catastrophic earthquake of such formidable magnitude in the United States that it would alter the very course of the Mississippi River, leaving a trail of devastation and significant loss of life. While a recent 4.8...
Ooh, yay, I'm like a mile from the Mississippi River right now. I'm like right up the... right up the way. So if that happens, I'm probably going to be screwed. Just saying.
Magnitude earthquake did strike near New York City on April 5th. Originating from Lebanon, New Jersey, it fortunately did not fulfill her dire prediction.
That's not the fault line that's going to cause the Mississippi to flow backwards and has caused the Mississippi to flow backwards in the past is the New Madron fault. That runs under the Midwest. It's it's the one that that when we have earthquakes here in the Midwest, that's what it's from. But our earthquakes are tiny compared to the San Andreas fault out west. Here in the Midwest, we don't really have big earthquakes. Sometimes you can feel them, sometimes you can't. They're just little shimmies. But that's the New Madrid fault, which is what it would take to set off, which is what would have to be set off in order for this prediction to happen. It'd have to be set off before the end of the year.
The quake, felt 45 miles away in New York City, caused no serious damage or alteration to the river's path. Yet, as we navigate through 2024, with only less than a half of the year behind us, the specter of Baba Vanga's prophecy looms large. The question remains, will there be a seismic event that reshapes the American landscape as Baba Vanga envisioned? Moreover, Baba Vanga's prophecies extend beyond terrestrial tremors. She also envisioned a colossal tsunami, more destructive than any before, poised to strike the Asian continent. This prediction echoes with eerie resonance, as Japan recently grappled with a 7.6 magnitude earthquake, raising fears of an impending tsunami. These predictions, steeped in Baba Vanga's foreboding vision, remind us of her warnings.
So, did she predict Helene?
The potentially transformative events
I want to hear
on
that.
the horizon. And
what was the words that she said about Hurricane Helene?
There's Baba Vanga's ominous prediction of an impending nuclear disaster that should have far-reaching consequences that could ripple through global politics, the environment, and humanity itself. This prophesied calamity holds the chilling potential to destabilize international relations, ignite conflicts.
Do we have stable international relations now? It doesn't seem like we do. I believe the Indian government just had somebody killed in Canada by hiring an assassin. Things are going crazy. We got Russia interfering with U.S. elections. We got China taking over Myanmar. Where is this global relations? Where are they going good at? We got two major wars going on. One in Ukraine and one in Gaza right now. Where are things? Where have things ever been? When have global relations ever been stable? Like ever? Not in my lifetime. I'm only 41, but in my lifetime, I've not seen a stable world. There's always been conflict in the Middle East. There's always been conflicts in Southeast Asia. There's always been conflicts in Latin America. So there's always been conflicts, and America, the country I live in, always has us greedy little fingers in it, but I digress.
And shift the global balance of power dramatically. The gravity of such a forecast has fueled endless speculation and debate. However, critics remind us that oracles are not immune to the influences of their social and cultural contexts. As such, interpretations of Baba Vanga's prophecies can diverge widely. A crucial consideration is the possibility that her prediction might carry a symbolic or metaphorical weight. Prophecies often employ...
You gonna drop that prediction sometime soon? Or you're just gonna keep talking about how it was real?
Symbolism, and a literal interpretation could lead to profound misunderstandings. To navigate the complexities of Baba Vanga's visions, an open-minded approach is essential. It invites a broader perspective, considering alternative meanings, to fully comprehend the depth and nuance of her message. This method not only enriches our understanding, but also prepares us to consider the implications of her predictions with greater insight and readiness.
You better start making some predictions.
And global predictions. Baba Vanga's insights into political and global affairs are another cornerstone of her prophetic legacy. She spoke of the rise and fall of nations, the emergence of new superpowers, and significant shifts in global diplomacy. Her predictions often included specific references to countries and leaders, some of which have been eerily accurate, while others remain the subject of intense speculation and debate. Her foresight into political changes reflects...
Okay, tell me one of the accurate ones. Just tell me the accurate one so I can see.
deep understanding of the currents of history and the cyclical nature of power, emphasizing that no empire is permanent and that the global order is always in flux. For example, Baba Vanga's prophecies for 2024 cast a shadow of looming uncertainty and dramatic upheaval across the globe. Among her most startling predictions is the assassination of Russian President Vladimir Putin by a compatriot, an event that could occur amidst the ongoing turmoil in Ukraine. According to Baba Vanga, the fall of this pivotal leader will thrust the world into even deeper instability. Furthermore,
wait. Okay. What did she say about Putin? Did she say his name? Did she say Vladimir Putin? Did she say the Russian prime minister? The Russian leader? The Tsar? What did she say? What were her words?
Terror attacks across Europe, and ominously, an unnamed...
I have a feeling we're going to keep getting people's interpretations of it instead of the quote, except for the 9/11 quote. They'll give us that one. That's the only one that that we'll find. And the rest of it, they're just going to tell us that that's what it meant.
major country initiating biological weapons attacks within the year. Baba Vanga also alarmingly hinted at an uptick in terrorist activities across Europe and raised the specter of a major country potentially testing or using biological weapons. These grim predictions come at a time when the world grapples with escalating conflicts, such as the ongoing strife between Israel and Hamas and Russia's incursion into Ukraine. Amidst these geopolitical shifts, historical territorial disputes are re-emerging. The international community, for example, is increasingly questioning China's control over territories like East Turkestan, Tibet, southern Mongolia, and Hong Kong.
China's buying up land everywhere. You should see how much land China owns in Africa. It's insane. Like, the Chinese government, I think the Chinese government owns land over here in North America too. They own a little bit of land everywhere, either through direct purchase or through stock companies that are through the Chinese government. But when you're dealing with the current Chinese government, that's what you get. All we could do to avoid that is, a boycott, but
which indicates a potentially transformative period in world relations.
China has figured out what capitalism means. It means that if you want a country, you don't invade it with war, you buy it through business practices. China's figured that out. They don't go to war with the big world powers. They buy them out. They undercut them.
This complex mosaic of rising powers, expanding alliances, and historical grievances paints a picture of a world at a pivotal crossroads, closely mirroring the unsettling visions prophesied by Baba Vanga. Health and medical insights. Less commonly highlighted but equally significant are Baba Vanga's predictions related to health and medical breakthroughs. She foresaw advances in medicine that would extend human lifespan and treat previously incurable diseases such as Alzheimer's and cancer. While it might sound like the stuff of science fiction, the rapid...
we get in recent years, we've really had a lot of breakthroughs in some of these fields. I think there's a lot of stuff out there that pharmaceutical companies sit on because of their profit margins with another product that they're selling, or that they'll buy a patent for something that works better than their... Hey, you stumbled on some medical myths, and I hear medical myths is coming back, isn't it? There's Dr. Ben from, the Dr. Ben, future housemate Dr. Ben.
Strides in global medical research, adding a tangible layer of anticipation to these prophetic claims, President Vladimir Putin recently announced that Russian scientists are on the brink of a breakthrough, nearing the development of a cancer vaccine that could soon be available to the public. While specifics were not provided regarding the types of cancer that the proposed vaccines would target, recent developments have ignited a wave of optimism in the battle against this formidable disease. Notably, significant progress has been made in the development of a lung cancer vaccine.
Okay.
The United Kingdom has shown substantial support, allocating funds for 2 years of intensive laboratory.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm glad to see that people are taking it serious, taking the research into cancer vaccines seriously. However, what does this have to do with Baba Vanga?
Research and the initial production of 3,000...
Did Baba Vanga predict that medicine would get better? That as we move forward, our medical practices will improve? Because, I mean, that's straight up witchcraft, right?
Doses of a DNA-based lung cancer vaccine. In their most recent press release, the prestigious University of Oxford in Oxford, England, highlighted this initiative. The momentum behind these advances cannot be overstated. It heralds a promising horizon for cancer patients worldwide.
But I really doubt it was because of Baba Vanga that they started doing that. the Prime Minister's like, we need to give money to cancer research because Baba Vanga says there's going to be a breakthrough.
As we move into 2024, there is a palpable sense of anticipation that a medical miracle could indeed be on the cusp of reality, transforming hope into healing for millions affected by cancer. However, Baba Vanga's visions also...
What about like Truvada? Truvada was like a breakthrough like that for people with AIDS, right? I said Truvada and its allies, right? These treatments that weren't available in Baba Vanga's day that would seem miraculous today. Did she predict those as well, or just the ones that you can inversely attribute to her predictions?
Warned of new diseases and pandemics that could arise unexpectedly, challenging the medical world and prompting a global response. Her prophecies in this domain underscore the importance of preparedness and innovation in healthcare, suggesting that medical advancements will be crucial in shaping the future of humanity. Baba Vanga's terrifying prophecy for 2024.
Are we here? Did they edge us for 23 minutes straight about what the prophecies for 2024 might be?
Baba Vanga's chilling prophecy for 2024 has begun to unfold, and the implications are terrifying everyone. The renowned mystic predicted a series of severe weather events and natural disasters for this year, and current trends suggest that her foresight was disturbingly accurate. With the planet already grappling with unprecedented climatic extremes, the realization of her predictions paints a daunting picture.
The Atlantic taking back the South Carolina coast is pretty wild too. I've seen some videos of those houses out on the what's that peninsula or whatever off of South Carolina called, like Edisto, and all these beaches are on it. The big tourist district, but the ocean started just gobbling them up, nom nom nom. And we've had hurricanes.
Of what may still lie ahead. According to recent findings published in a comprehensive study, the predictions of Baba Vanga regarding severe weather events and natural disasters for 2024 are becoming increasingly evident. The study...
What did she say? What were her words?
Reveals a staggering 67% increase in the frequency of global heat waves, with the highest temperatures during these events surpassing records set 40 years ago. Historical data accentuates this trend. Between 1979 and 1983, global heat waves typically lasted about 8 days, but this duration has stretched to an average of 12 days from 2016 to 2020. This prolonged exposure to extreme heat...
Yeah, this climate change. I mean, we had ideas of what climate change was going to bring back in Baba Vanga's day. Yeah.
Not only underscores the intensifying impact of climate change, but also aligns eerily with Baba Vanga's ominous forecasts.
What was the forecast? What did she say? What were her words? Use her words, or even an English translation of her words, please.
Adding to the urgency, the World Meteorological Organization has indicated a high likelihood that 2024 will be marked as another record-breaking hot year.
Of course it will be. Every year since like 2014 has been the hottest year on record. Has surpassed the previous year.
A particularly alarming prediction, Baba Vanga foresaw an orbital change, a shift that could trigger a series of devastating natural disasters across the globe. These insights terrify the whole world and
No, my house won't make it underneath that bridge.
Compel us to reflect on our environmental strategies and the profound implications of our planetary stewardship. What lies ahead? Beyond 2020.
Okay, yes. Are we going to say what words that Baba Vanga used herself to describe what was going to happen this year? What are her words? What did she say? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Before, Baba Vanga's visions stretch far into humanity's future, predicting a transformation of the global order and technological advances that defy current understanding. She anticipated Europe falling under Islamic leadership by 2043 and the resurgence of communism by 2076. The world hunger crisis, she said...
Why can't we have... Let's skip that previous one with the Islamic one. Let's go straight to the communism one. I'm here for that. Let's do it. Let's do it this year. Let's make that the prediction for 2024. Man, I'm going full commie. I'm embarrassing myself.
said would find resolution between 2025 and 20...
I want to compare Baba Vanga's predictions to the Simpsons predictions. That's an amazing idea, Apocalypse Meow.
28. Perhaps most intriguingly, by 2304, humans are expected to achieve time travel, with later generations facing man-made natural disasters in 2341 that could render Earth uninhabitable. Despite these dire predictions, Vanga's visions also offer a glimpse into a far future where humanity achieves immortality, assimilates with aliens, and even establishes communication with God, culminating in 4302. According to Baba Vanga, the world's final chapter will close in the year 5079. What are your thoughts about Baba Vanga?
My thoughts are you didn't tell us any of the predictions that she actually said, except for the one about 9/11, just to emphasize what type of language that she uses. I want to know the language that she uses that you're inferring that it was for 2024. I don't think she actually went through and said, in this year, this is going to happen, and that year, that's going to happen. Because god dang it, every year has disasters. Every year has political stuff going on. Every year has wars. It's just the world that we live in. So, But that was the Wise Owls, the channel. 158K subscribers, 1.2 million people. 1.2 million people have viewed this. Why is it not showing any comments? Interesting. So 1.2 million people have been totally edged by this video because it did not get you off. It did not tell you what her predictions for this year was. So, just edged, and then, oh, I gotta go. Not doing it. No way. All right. So, I mean, what do you guys think about prophets? Are there any prophets that you think I should cover that I haven't covered yet? Are there any prophecies? Do you want me to cover the Simpsons prophecies? I think me and Maya and Germania covered some South Park prophecies. So there was that. But yeah. Let me know in the comments, though. And this has been I'm getting pretty weird with it, with the Wise Owl. We'll see you next time. All right, so don't go anywhere. We got more show to come. Actually, this is probably going to be like the longest breezed beastier I've ever done, because I'm going to be talking about ravens and the ravens in the Tower of London and all that good stuff. So don't go anywhere. and I'm going to have an intermission. I'm going to switch over from coffee to something else to drink, but I will be back in just a second. All right, hello, and thank you for sticking around for this final segment of the show, Bree's Bestiary, where I talk about animals and any kind of mythology attached to them, and kind of their history of their interaction with humans, and myths and fake lore about them as well. And today we have a special beast that I want to cover. Let's see. Here we go.
Everyone knows that if the ravens ever leave the tower, the entire kingdom itself will fall. In fact, just to make sure that never happens, I'm going to order that from now on at least 6 ravens be kept at the tower at the expense of the British government. Forever.
But Your Majesty, my observatory!
Relax, brother. I'll build you a new one in Greenwich.
Oh, Your Majesty, thank you. You are truly dedicated to science and the pursuit of knowledge.
Big time.
Hope you picked up on that irony there. All right. If you don't know, their Tower of London has ravens. They have a minimum of 6 that they have to keep.
When I first came here as a young warder about 8 years ago now, the old Raven Master, who'd been doing it for about 15 years, saw something in me that he quite liked. He thought that the ravens might like me.
I wonder if this is the guy that let 2 of the ravens get eaten by foxes, though.
So he says, boy, he says, let me introduce you to the ravens. He said, I think I want you on my team. Because they're territorial, they like to go into their own certain areas, and I kind of keep an eye on them to make sure they're not crossing over and arguing between themselves. You know, I'm first up in the mornings and the last to go to bed here at the Tower of London. It's exactly the same as having a pet dog or pet cat. They're your companions, and these are my companions here. Well, first of all, we're going to let out Hugin. She is in trap number 1. Good morning. There we go. Now we're going to let out through this little hole down here, Erin and Rocky. They both live together. You ready, you two? Come on in. There we go. Good boy, good gal. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to let Raven Merlin out. We've had a raven here inside the Queen's house for many, many years. You can see a set of steps that are going up. That she goes up the steps at night times.
Is she old?
Inside her box, and because this
is she old? Is that why, or is it because you clip their wings and don't let them fly?
is part of the Queen's house in the Tower of London. She is obviously the princess that lives here. Right, I can hear you and you can hear me. Let's open you up. Let's see who you are. Let's now just check, make sure
hello,
she's
big
okay.
buddy.
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Hello. Good morning.
There we go.
Yes, I talk to animals even when they're on the screen, like they're right here in front of me and that they can understand me.
Good girl. Good girl. And your friends come to see you as well. The ravens live on a diet of many different things, but predominantly what we feed them here is meat. They are scavengers by nature. So myself and my team, we feed them twice a day, generally in the cages. We feed them a diet of rat, chick, mouse. Sometimes we put in whole rabbits because they like the fur and the bones, and some other meat as well, some red meats and some chicken.
So his job is like, basically they let him out and they live in this little courtyard area of the tower. They can hop around and, you know, do their raven stuff. And his job is to like protect them from people and wildlife. But two of them did get killed by a fox not too long ago. When was that? That was... No, over here. Yeah, red fox in 2013. I don't know if that would have been this guy or not.
They are attracted. They do attract people with dark connotations. In fact, at the Tower of London, the ravens have a good omen, because the legend says that should the ravens leave the Tower of London, it would crumble into dust and a great harm would befall the country. So therefore that is a good omen rather than a bad omen. Normally, to keep the ravens here at the Tower of London, I trim up some of their primary flight feathers. It just unbalances them. I have to do this every 3 to 4 weeks. It's like giving a person a haircut. It doesn't hurt the raven in any way, and they can fly, and they do fly.
Besides hobbles their ability to fly.
But because they're unbalanced, they don't go very far, and it just ensures the safety of the ravens here at the Tower of London, and of course the legend as well.
That's like I'm gonna cut off your leg at the knee. It's not gonna hurt you. It's just gonna make it so you can't get away. Like what? No, you can't just. I'm gonna cripple your ability to move, and then I'm gonna tell everybody that it's not a big deal. It's not hurting you.
Well,
what?
We had Raven Moonin fly off a couple of years ago. One day I opened up the cage and I wasn't concentrating on what I was doing, and she sneaked out the door and flew off. About 2 days later after that, I got a phone call from Greenwich Observatory. A person at Greenwich had seen a raven in his back garden. So I got the phone number for this gentleman. I phoned him up and I said, "Is it still there?" He goes, "Yes, I think it's a raven." And I said, "Have you got any chicken in your fridge?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "Good." I said, "Have you got a blanket?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Have you got any gloves?" I said, "You're going to need some gloves." He said, "What do I need gloves for?" I said, "Well, you're going to catch the raven for me. The Tower of London depends, and the monarchy depends on you right now, sir." He said, "How much?"
So you just told some random guy in his backyard to try to capture wildlife? Don't do that. What we would do, what you need to do if you see an animal in your yard that's not endemic, or that's acting or behaving oddly, and call the proper authorities and have them come do it. Don't let some rando with a blanket and a pair of gloves and some fried chicken go out there and try to catch your bird.
We're going to do that. I said, put the chicken in the garden. When the raven goes and lands on the chicken, throw the blanket over it, put your gloves on because it's about to bite you, and grab it for me and keep it for me until I get there. He done it, and he caught it. They go to bed at night time.
Why didn't you just do that when you got there, dude?
Because of the safety of them, and I put them into their cage.
Now you owe that guy at least for the price of his chicken.
And I give them a whistle and they come into bed. I train them to come into bed at night times. Because they're quite habitual, the ravens here at the Tower of London, they have a pecking order, if you like. and they go in certain ways, certain methods, and they don't really like to change it, so that's how they do it. Yeah. Because I spend an awful long time with the ravens, I probably spend more time with the ravens than I do my wife, to be honest with you, much to her annoyance. And so I get used to their characters. Some are quiet, some are quite loud.
I like that they have that big wooden structure that they can play on now. It's like they got a big playground.
Some are boisterous. We have one at the present time that if it's not getting too much attention, sometimes you'll see it laying down on the grass with its wings spread out and its feet sticking in the air playing dead, because there's a bit of an attention seeker. And I have so many people complaining that, oh, there's a raven dead, there's a raven dead. But I said, watch it. I said, it'll get up in a moment.
He's an actor. They got so much personality. That's adorable. Yeah, that's why they trim their wings back, to ensure they stay put. So, I mean, I'm honestly, let's see the monarchy crumble, though. Let them ravens go. Let them fly free. But, you know. So, ravens have a lot of mythology, though. This person made a video about some of the mythology. This is the Minnesota Alchemist, transforming legends and lore with a really long intro. We got 22 seconds now.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight over him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul, from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore.
I should do a dramatic reading of The Raven. Would you guys like me to do a dramatic reading of The Raven? If I can get... Oh, I have to record it, though. I'm not going to try to do it live. The Raven's like 40 stanzas or something like that. It's really long. Yeah, if I get... actually, you all have really contributed to the channel this round. I've had a lot of contributions, a lot of donations. Thank you. Let me count it up. 10, 20, 40. If I get 10 more dollars on this before this stream ends, I will record I'll do a dramatic reading of The Raven for next Saturday's show.
For many people, Edgar Allan Poe introduces the raven as something far more sinister than your average bird. But is the raven evil or benevolent? Today...
Benevolent? Well, not really, but they're neutral. Neutral chaotic.
We're going to examine the mythology of the raven to understand why I've chosen it as a central symbol in my Dreamcatcher Chronicles series. For Edgar Allan Poe, the raven was a symbol connected to death, and for a good reason. In Welsh and Celtic legends, the
raven was the embodiment of his grief. As far as Dave's on it. Oh my gosh, getting more and more. Do the raven. Okay, I will do it. I will do it. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys, love you so much. I will give you a reading of the Raven. And we will watch it next week.
These were symbols of both death.
Should we watch it next week, or should we wait and should I premiere it on Halloween? That'd be cool. Or maybe before Halloween, because then by the time it's out, nobody will have. Yeah. So let me see. The 26th is a good day. Next Saturday is fine. I'll premiere it on. I'll premiere it on the live show, and then I'll make a video of it separate to publish. So thank you.
The most prominent legend involves the Morrigan. Norse legend has the chief Norse god Odin using ravens as his spies, which is how Tolkien also used them in Lord of the Rings.
No, those are Creebane, not ravens. The ravens were not the spies of Saruman. The ravens do exist in Tolkien's universe, and they're almost they're intelligent. They're as intelligent as the eagles, but they're friends with the dwarves. The ravens. The ravens, Ravenhill near Erebora, where it's the Lonely Mountain, the place they go in The Hobbit. But these ravens are not the same as the Creebane. Let me see. Creebane are wicked birds. They're kind of like they are corvids of some type, but they're not like a corvid we have in the real world. They're basically like an evil counterpart to ravens, like wargs were an evil counterpart for wolves. The Creebane are basically Saruman's spies. Anyway.
Odin's ravens are named Hugin and Munin. Apologies for those of you that know how to speak Old Norse.
Fun fact, the two of the ravens at the Tower of London have those names. The ones that just had babies. Well, they didn't just have babies. They had babies recently. I think it was like the first time they've had babies in the tower since the 80s, though.
Which roughly translates to thought and memory, which I loved. The idea of the raven being the avatar or physical messenger of Odin's thoughts intrigued me, but not as much as memory, which has the possibility of meaning ravens are a time capsule that not only watch, but record events.
They do, really, because they're smart, and they have long memories and long lives. Ravens, another difference between ravens and crows, for anybody who knows, well, besides the fact that ravens, so the meme is, if you see a bird, a big black bird, and you're like, oh, I think that's that might be a raven, or maybe it's a crow, then it's a crow. If you see a big black bird, and you're like, God damn, that's the biggest bird I've ever seen, it's probably a raven. Ravens tend to be more solitary too. Crows live in little family units, whereas ravens live in well, they do live in pairs, and they do have a community, but they don't hang out with their community like crows do as much. Anyway, you'll see them mostly at the most just hanging out in pairs, but even then they may sulk around alone. I don't know if that's what you call it, skulking around. Yeah.
In the Bible, ravens have a multitude of purposes. Like Odin, God uses the raven as a messenger, sending a raven to his prophet Elijah to feed him in his time of need. Most translations use...
So is that one of Yahweh's... I didn't know that. That's one of Yahweh's familiars too, is the raven? Interesting. I knew that Jesus is, the symbol of the donkey and the fish. But I did not know that the Old Testament God had the symbol of the raven. So that's neat.
Consider the sparrow when describing the caring nature of God for his creations. But the word used in Job, Luke, and other places more accurately translates to raven. God's views of ravens include a do not eat ban found in the book of Deuteronomy. The most curious biblical tale involving a raven comes near the...
I don't think people have ever eaten corvids. Carrion birds just are naturally not attracted to is a food source.
End of the flood, when Noah sends out birds to test the levels of the water, while the dove gets all the symbolic attention. Noah sends out a raven first. Why? Of all the birds, the raven was deemed most worthy of dealing with the changing conditions of the new world. But curiously, the raven did not return.
Yeah, why is he going to return to that stinky old boat that's full of feces and animals and disease when he's found dry land? Why would he go back to that? Yuck.
Where did it go? Why didn't it fly back? What happened to its mate? How did Noah's raven even know which direction to go? The concept of a raven as a
Is the raven a clean animal? I don't think I think the raven's unclean, isn't it?
Extends to the Viking story of
So there would have only been two.
Ragnar Lothbrok, and also an Icelandic tale explaining how Faroese sailors found the new world. In the legends of North America, the raven is most commonly seen as a trickster, and for good reason. Biologists widely claim that ravens are one of the most intelligent birds on the planet.
Right, and they
capable
can do like an
of
exchange
complex
system
reasoning.
too. You can teach ravens to exchange shiny trinkets for food.
And even mimicry, which is why, along with parrots, ravens can learn human words. While most indigenous legends range from the raven being viewed as a creator or a provider, I found an interesting legend that claimed the raven was once white and was transformed into its current black color. Halfway across the planet, the Greeks also believed that Apollo transformed the raven from white into black. So, in the Dreamcatcher Chronicle series, keep an eye out for any ravens you might see, especially any ancient white ravens perched in a willow tree.
Yeah. How ominous. I would love to see a white raven, though. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't it be amazing to see a white raven? Check this out, though. I like this. I think it's funny. It's so... Hold on. Let me see. There you go. The crow evolved new blonde look, concluding a 17 million year goth phase. Funny. Yeah. Anyway. I hope you enjoyed this little excursion. Didn't take quite as long as I thought it was going to, but it looks like I'm going to be doing a reading of the Raven. Okay, well, the so I lost my place here. Okay. Anyway, let's wrap up the show. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody for sticking around and hanging out with me, and hope to see you next time. Please remember to be kind and take care and all that good stuff. All right. Thank you so much for my Live from the Hive audience. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for hanging out I've had viewers here most of the time, so thank you. I mean, a lot of viewers. So I know it's not the best time slot for people on the West Coast, so thank you for showing up. All right. I'm gonna end the show here. I got some stuff to take care of this morning. Maybe in Discord here for a little bit though, while I'm working on that. So if you want to, I may be in the Transpositions Discord, and I may be listening to music over there. So if you want to come hang out, you can come hang out. I just got some stuff I got to do. All right, so see y'all next week. Remember to be kind and take care, all that good stuff. And yeah, all right, bye-bye.
With all the noise, pseudoscience, and political rhetoric clogging the airwaves about transgender people, it can be difficult to understand what's really happening and what's really true. Good news, everyone! Welcome to The Transpositions, your compass in the rugged landscape of transgender issues. Here, we strive to be the beacon of authenticity, providing a platform that amplifies the voices and experiences of the transgender community. From breaking news to in-depth features to breaking down the real science, we are committed to fostering understanding, empathy, and empowerment for all individuals across the gender spectrum. Join us as we navigate the complexities, celebrate the triumphs, and advocate for the rights of transgender people worldwide. Together, we can redefine boundaries, challenge stereotypes, and champion inclusivity. Subscribe today. The link is in the description.